Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Military Mind, bringing you news from the front lines. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Now we start off today's frontline update with news from the Crimean Peninsula. Ukrainian forces reportedly carried out overnight strikes on Russian military targets using short-range MGM-140 ATACMS missile systems. No reports of the damage have been published as of yet. Further east, Russian forces have not made any significant advances near the town of Avdiivka for the first time in several days. Ukrainian sources said that Moscow's troops have instead opted to strike in the direction of Bakhmut. This coincides with reports of a possible push by Russian forces towards Donetsk, north of Avdiivka. This would work with Moscow's offensive operation near Chasiv Yar, which would likely require Russia to concentrate its force to allow for such a push. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Israel has opted not to send a delegation to Cairo for ceasefire negotiations until Hamas reports to Israel's proposed terms, according to sources cited by ABC News. The latest Israeli airstrike on a residential building in central Gaza city of Jala Street has resulted in the confirmation of death of at least 3 people and injuries to 4 others, including children, as reported by Wafa news agency. Wafa also says that in addition to the attack on Jala Street, Israeli airstrike have targeted various areas of Gaza City, including the Zayton, Tel Hawa, and Sabra neighborhoods. Meanwhile, the Lebanese Hezbollah reportedly conducted 6 attacks from southern Lebanon into northern Israel. A drone is dropping bombs on Russian infantry, while artillery is blasting away at Russian positions with cluster munitions. All of this is going down in the village of Krenki in the Kherson region. It's a killing ground out there, and both sides are bringing out the big guns. The situation in Novomikhailivka is heating up, with the 79th Separate Assault Brigade having led a successful night operation against the occupier. Thanks to the work of drone operators, Ukrainian forces are getting a clear picture of enemy infantry positions, vehicles, and ammo depots. Once they can see them, the Ukrainians light them up. This relentless pressure is sure to make the invaders retreat from Ukrainian soil. In just a moment, we'll get to see a video that's almost 2 years old now. Now it shows the fighting in Mariupol from the point of view of the crew of a BTR-4 armored vehicle. Unfortunately, it's hard to trace the original source of this clip and the fate of its protagonist. Nonetheless, it offers a glimpse into the intensity of the battles and the challenges faced by the Ukrainian soldiers on the front lines. And as we watch it, let's remember the bravery and sacrifice of everyone involved in defending their homeland.
Підери, прямо, ближче, ближче. Давай, їбать, давай. Там до хуя, підери, давай, до хуя. Закрий це. Все, там. Давай, все. Лівіше, лівіше, ближче, от за дорогою сразу тип стріляє.
Бачу.
Давай. Давай. Єбать, ти...
Єбать їх там толпа була.
And it looks like the Russian forces have hit a bit of a roadblock, folks. For the first time in a few days, they haven't managed to snatch any new turf from around Avdiivka in the Donetsk region. Now, one day doesn't make a trend, but this could be a sign that the pace of their attack is slowing down in the area. But watch out, because they might just be gearing up for an offensive around the town of Chasiv Yar in the same region. But the Ukrainian fighters from the 23rd OSB and the 63rd OMB Brigade have really been making moves. They have stormed and seized enemy positions like pros, so keep your eyes peeled because things are heating up over there.
Пташка відпрацювала, можете починати. Прийом.
Кто второй? Сюда, вы, быстрей! Давай! Кто еще? Вышел! Вышел!
And with that footage, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. But for more news update and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.